Hi, boys and girls. Happy Thanksgiving. It's Mrs. Smiley, and I hope you guys are having a great day. Thanksgiving is getting really close, and I know we're all excited, and I want to read one more Thanksgiving story to you before it's here. This story is called We Gather Together. Now, please get lost. Boy, that doesn't sound like a normal Thanksgiving story, does it? It's written by Diana Grote, and I think you're going to like this one. It's going to make you think a lot about friends and how friends treat friends. You might even want to think about some of the characters in the story during the story and think, how full is their bucket or how empty is their bucket? What zone are they on? So those are some things you might want to think about too. Okay, so put on your listening ears. I'm going to put on my glasses, and here we go. We gather together. Now, please get lost. That doesn't sound very nice, does it? Okay. Gilbert was so excited that he tossed and turned all night. Tomorrow his class was going on a field trip to the Pilgrim Town, and Gilbert kept thinking about how much fun it would be. Frank was going to be his buddy for the trip, and he promised to bring his checkers for the bus ride. Gilbert finally drifted off to sleep when, bam! Something bopped him on the head. Gilbert woke with a start, and he fell off the bed. His sister Lola laughed and waved her doll around him. "You have to get up," she said. "I am up," Gilbert said, but he really was down on the floor, stuck between the bed and the wall. Lola tried to bop him again. "Mom says you're late for school." Gilbert had never been late for school, but today he was tired and he didn't want to get up. Uh-oh, I hope he's not going to be late on field trip day. When Gilbert stomped into the kitchen, his socks didn't match. Toothpaste was dripping down his shirt, and his hair was sticking up in all the wrong places. "Oh dear," Mother said when she saw him. "It looks like you got up on the wrong side of the bed today." She handed him his lunch bag as he hurried out the door. Gilbert had missed breakfast, and his stomach growled all the way to school. Now, when somebody says you got up on the wrong side of the bed today, that means you probably aren't in a very good mood or not starting your day off in the best way. When he got to his classroom, Mrs. Bird had already marked him absent. She erased the X next to his name and said, "You should be thankful that we didn't leave without you, Gilbert." Gilbert wasn't so thankful when he saw that everyone had already picked their partners for the trip. The only person left without a buddy was Philip. Philip was always the last one to get picked for anything. He couldn't catch a ball or run fast. He was also a big tattletale, and now he was Gilbert's buddy. When the bus started down the road, Gilbert looked around. Frank and Kenny were playing checkers. Patty and Margaret played Travel Battleship. Louis and Sam read a comic book. Gilbert and Philip just sat. So everybody's having fun playing, and they're just sitting there. Gilbert's stomach growled again. He opened his lunch bag, but Philip said, "I'm telling the teacher that you're eating on the bus." So Gilbert closed his bag. I guess that is true. It's not very nice to be a tattletale. Finally, Mrs. Bird said, "Now, class, we're almost there. At Pilgrim Town, we'll see how early settlers lived. They were thankful that they got through a hard winter, and they celebrated their first harvest with a Thanksgiving feast. During our visit today, I want you to think about all the things that you can be thankful for." Patty raised her hand and said, "I'm thankful that no one threw up on the bus." Louis shouted, "I'm thankful that we didn't have to do any spelling today." Everyone laughed except Mrs. Bird and Philip, who was the best speller in the class. Gilbert slouched in his seat and said, "I'm thankful that we're almost there." Let me show you that picture. Sorry, guys. Did you see it? There they are on the bus. And you can see Gilbert and Philip sitting right there. When the bus pulled into the parking lot, Mrs. Bird said, Remember to stay with your buddy at all times so no one will get lost. 2 by 2, they walked through the village, where people in costumes talked about how the pilgrims lived. And as they headed towards the blacksmith shop, Gilbert ran to catch up with Frank and Kenny. Philip ran after him, calling, "Hey, wait for me." Frank said, "Too bad we can't be triple buddies, Gilbert, but you have to stay with Philip." Okay, now look in the picture and see if you can see the characters. Okay, here are the guys that he wanted to be with. And there's Gilbert trying to catch up with them. And back here, all the way back there is Gilbert. And you're supposed to stay with your buddy, right? So was Gilbert being a very good friend to Philip? Yes or no? When Philip caught up, he said, "Don't walk so fast, Gilbert. Mrs. Bird wants us to stick together." So Gilbert walked really, really slowly. Philip pulled at his sleeve. "Hurry up, Gilbert." At the hay barn, Gilbert hid behind a group of older kids, but Philip found him. "Stop it, Gilbert," he whined. "I'm telling Mrs. Bird that you're fooling around." "You're a big tattletale," said Gilbert. "Why don't you just get lost?" Wow, that wasn't a very nice thing to say, was it? "I'm telling Mrs. Bird that you called me a tattletale," Philip said. So look at how Gilbert's acting. He's hiding from him. He tried to run away from him, and then he told him just to get lost. What do you think Gilbert just did to Philip's bucket? Did he empty it, or was he filling it? I think he emptied it too. He doesn't sound like he's being a very good friend. On the way to the picnic area, Gilbert slipped into the restroom. Now the restroom is the bathroom, right? When Philip wasn't looking, and he locked the door behind him. Now Philip would never find him. So he's hiding in the bathroom. Good choice or bad choice? Gilbert waited a few minutes and then he went to unlock the door, but the lock would not turn. He tried again, but it was stuck. He banged on the door yelling, "Help! Philip! I'm in here!" Philip didn't answer. Remember, Philip doesn't even know where he's at. Gilbert banged on the door again. "Is anyone out there?" he shouted, but no one answered. So look at all the people having fun, and here's Gilbert, and here he is in the bathroom yelling. See the lines? That's him yelling help, for someone to help him. Uh-oh, Gilbert thought. If Philip didn't see him go into the bathroom, no one would know that he was in there. Or worse, Philip might not even tell anyone that Gilbert was missing. That's what Gilbert would do if he was Philip. The class might leave without him, and Gilbert would have to spend the whole night there, alone, in the bathroom, in the dark. Boy, I hope that doesn't happen. Suddenly, the doorknob jiggled. "Is somebody there?" Gilbert shouted. It was Philip. "Gilbert," he said, "I've been looking all over for you." "I can't get out," Gilbert said. "The lock is stuck." "Hold on," Philip said. "I'll go get help." After a few minutes, a guide came with the key. When Gilbert finally got out, he saw Philip, but not the rest of the class. "Uh-oh," he cried. "We lost our class." The guide smiled and said, "Then we'd better check the lost and found." And if you ever get lost, you find somebody who works at a place, and they'll take you safely to someone who can help you. As they walked to the visitor center, Gilbert knew he was going to be in big trouble. And Philip, too, all because of him. Gilbert waited anxiously with Philip at the lost child corner until the class appeared. Mrs. Bird wasn't mad. She said, "There you are. I'm so glad we found you." Louis wasn't so glad. He said, "We could have been eating lunch already, but we had to come looking for you and Philip." Gilbert said, "It's not Philip's fault. I was hiding from him and I got locked in the restroom, but he found me and got help." Patty said, "Oh, Gilbert, you weren't being a very good buddy." And Frank said, "I'm glad Gilbert wasn't my buddy." He wasn't being a very good buddy, was he? But Mrs. Bird said, "Let's just be happy that we're all safely here together. To celebrate, she bought some pies and pilgrim hats, and she led the class outside to a picnic table. When they were all seated, she said, "Tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day. What are some things we should all be thankful for?" "Pumpkin pie," Louis said, helping himself to a piece. "Thanks for getting lost, Gilbert." Patty said, "I'm thankful that we don't have to live like pilgrims did. They didn't even have TV." "Or comic books," Sam added. So there's the class, and they're all having a little pumpkin pie feast. They went around the table, and when it was Gilbert's turn, he thought for a minute, and then he said, "I'm thankful that I didn't have to spend Thanksgiving locked in a bathroom. Thanks, Philip." Everyone shouted, "Yay, Philip!" Philip turned red. "That's what buddies are for," he said. He's a pretty nice guy, isn't he? On the walk back to the bus, Gilbert stayed close to Philip. Very close. And on the bus, Gilbert borrowed Frank's checkers, and he and Philip played 5 games, and Philip won every time. Happy Thanksgiving. That's a picture from their trip. Boy, that's a good story, isn't it, boys and girls? And it really does talk about friendship. Gilbert was not being a very good friend at all to Philip. He was being mean to him, and he even hid from Philip, and thank goodness Philip came looking for Gilbert, because if he hadn't found him, what could have happened? He could have been stuck in that bathroom for a while, huh? So this kind of tells us about friendship, and it makes us stop and think how we treat people. And even the other boys and girls were saying, "Wow, I'm glad Gilbert wasn't my partner." So think about how you treat people. You always want to fill everybody's bucket. And you might not always get your first choice at partner or buddy in the classroom, but the person you're with has feelings too. So remember that and treat them nice, the way you would have preferred for Gilbert to treat Philip. We would have liked it if he could have been a little nicer to him, right? Yeah. But it had a happy ending, and it was a good story. So boys and girls, you have a happy Thanksgiving. I want you to draw a picture, and you can draw any picture you want from the story. You just have fun doing it. You can pick what you would like and write a few sentences to go with it, okay? Happy Thanksgiving, boys and girls.